We're rolling. Is that triggering for you as a PA? Yeah. Rolling.
Yeah.
Quite on set, guys.
I'm surprised I didn't naturally echo it.
I know, I was surprised. Guys, welcome to another episode of Horror at the Store. I am your host, Katie Hettenbach. And guys, we have a special person here today. She's wonderful. She's amazing. She works in the industry. Give it up for Jessie Harris.
Hi. Good to be back. How have you been since last episode?
Swell, amazing, wonderful, just darn and dandy.
Do I get to take one of these home?
You do not, but that would be cool.
You didn't bring the one from the old comedy club, my son.
Oh my God, he died.
Wait, what?
They threw him out.
I told you not to let them throw him out.
They threw him out. I saw him.
You should have brought him here.
I was taking out the trash at the club I used to work at, and I found him in the trash, and I literally like almost started crying. I was like, "This creepy clown that they had in the closet, they're gonna throw it away."
It's my son.
It's her son.
All right. Well, rest in peace, creepy clown child.
R.I.P. We love you. We hope you're doing well. But guys, today we have a great episode. It's a new movie.
I saw it last night.
It just came out.
Theaters.
It's Pearl, which is the prequel to X.
You saw X, of course.
I did, yes. We'll get into that in a moment. First, let's get this. We always do a log line off of the title alone. This is goofy. It's weird. It's not what the movie's actually about. It's just what you think the movie is based on the title. And I said, a small town girl named Pearl with big town dreams gets in over her head with dark forces and scarecrows.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I did not take any notes or write down anything because I was in a theater.
Well, give us a log line off the top of your head right now.
Off the top of the dome,
Yeah.
Pearl is obviously about a young girl who befriends a man-eating oyster
Ooh.
and helps it eat her entire town.
That sounds amazing, actually. That sounds like a really fun movie. that gives me Attack of the Killer Tomatoes vibes.
There needs to be... Has there been an killer oyster?
No. There's been a killer tire,
Well, yeah.
but I think we need to...
Stephen King is from Lobster Towns. He doesn't really think about oysters.
Hey, Stephen
much.
King, we have a pitch for you. Hear me out. Killer oysters. What do you think? So Pearl, obviously that's not what it's about. It's the prequel.
What do you mean, obviously?
Obviously, it's not about an oyster, but what if it was? That'd be silly. It's about the prequel to X, which if you haven't seen X, it also came out this year. So they literally cranked out this movie right away. I think they're filming at the same time.
I think they filmed all three back to back.
Which is crazy. No, I think that they're filming the next one.
Oh, they are?
Soon, because they're casting for it right now, because there's a competition.
For what?
It's to be in...
I want to be in it.
Yeah, so...
Wait, why didn't you send me this link?
I don't...
For this competition? Is it like a vote?
I'm trying to win.
Well,
That's why.
Is that what I was voting for you?
No, that's... If you guys want to vote, I've entered this competition called The Face of Horror.
Oh, yeah.
And if I win, I get some money. Thank you for voting.
Yeah.
I get some money. I get to stay in the Silence of the Lambs house, Buffalo Bill, if you will, and I get to be in a role in a little short film, but I'd use the money to pay off student loans, but mostly to fund my horror short film. So, yeah.
What about your feature?
It is a feat. It's probably a short film because it can't make
You can't afford the feature?
It can't. It won't. Page-wise, it probably won't. But this is a prequel to X, Pearl is. And if you haven't seen X, Pearl is the old woman in X who's played by Mia Goth. And
I didn't know that until this movie came out and I saw behind the scenes. I had no idea she's so brilliant because not only her voice but her movements. Mm-hmm. She played the hell out of that old woman in X.
She's very good. And so Pearl is this farm girl who's isolated and
1918
and she's tending to her ailing father. And
she lives with her very stern German mother.
She's very German. She's overbearing, and Pearl wants this life, this glamorous life that she's seen in the movie. She wants to be a dancer, and Pearl finds her ambitions and temptations and repressions all colliding in an origin story, and this is it. That is Pearl.
Yeah, her husband's away at war. That we know him from the first film.
And okay, this is a really cool thing actually. Her husband is played by someone I went to high school with.
Oh,
his name's Alistair.
At the very end.
Yeah, her husband's Alistair, my friend from high school. I mean, I say friend, but we never like knew each other a lot.
But that's how we talk about people now.
School,
if I talk about a friend, it's someone I follow on Twitter. It's not someone I know.
He posted on Facebook. He's like, I was in this movie, and I was like, what the fuck? I'm talking about this one. I'm like, Alistair, what's up? But he lives in New Zealand because I think that's where the film was shot.
Oh,
which is super cool. And I was like, that's so cool. A little Madison, Wisconsin shout out. So
it's
that's
interesting
amazing.
that they went all the way to New Zealand to film one location at a farmhouse. I feel like you could have found one local.
I mean, if it's a good farmhouse, it's a good farmhouse.
It just seems expensive.
They could have found something better in Madison, Wisconsin, home
That's what I'm
of
saying.
farmlands. I feel like it's cheaper to film there.
In New Zealand, you got to get everybody there.
Yeah,
that's not cheap.
Well, I mean, you get like the main people, and then you hire locally. But okay, so young farmhand, abusive mother, sick father. It opens on her performing in her room, and her mom's like, go do your chores, and then she continues the performance for the farm animals.
Yes,
that's what she does. And she's like sitting on the couch, she's dancing, but who interrupts it?
A goose.
A stupid goose who just wants some food and
tries to steal the spotlight from her.
And what does she do? Stabs him with a pitchfork and feeds him to
her gator. What's his name? Is it PETA?
It's Theta, which is actually after I was doing some research. Theta is the name of what movie was it? Some movie star at the time that was like a famous movie star.
Oh, 1918?
Yeah, in like 1918. But her name was
Theta.
Theta,
all of the animals are named after her favorite movie
which
stars.
is really cool. And I was like, oh, that's a good little like detail. So she goes, she needs to get, her mom's like, you need to get medicine for your dad. He's out of liquid morphine.
Don't we wish we all had some more
that
of that
good stuff, that good. And so she goes into town, she rides her bike, which, okay, also, let's just talk about this really quick. Anytime someone's riding a bike in movies, why are they like straight vertical? They are so...
Oh yeah, they're never leaning forward.
I'm hunched. I'm like the hunchback. When I'm on a bike, I feel like they're like, oh, we're going to have perfect posture. And I'm like, is it just because I have scoliosis or what's happening?
I've seen the Tour de France, and they don't look like Dorothy Gale.
Like, she is straight up, which I get, it's like, but I'm like, that's, not that I wanted it to be realistic because it's a movie, but I'm like, anytime someone rides a bike in a movie, they're always straight up, and it pisses me off.
Yeah, and it's like, you're going miles away, and you've got to get there in time. Yeah. I would be standing up, just like pedaling so fast, letting my body weight like move me along, you know?
None of that.
Yeah, so she's just like, chill, laid back, she's basically on a recumbent bike.
Yeah. she's
going to town.
And so she's in town, and it's during the time of the Spanish flu, and her mom was like, make sure you wear a mask.
That was very interesting, the whole pandemic thing.
And they had tons of like COVID.
Yeah, they were like, you can't tell who anybody is with a mask anymore. Mm-hmm. They all had their cloth masks on. They talked about after the pandemic.
For a brief moment, I was like, Pearl's going to be an anti-masker. Watch. She's not going to wear a mask. And she puts it on, and I was like, damn it, I can't make that point. Damn it. I was like, oh, she's a villain because she doesn't wear a mask. Ooh.
Yeah. Ooh. Well, listen, that's the great thing about Pearl is she doesn't realize she's a villain.
Yeah, she doesn't know. She knows something's off about her, but she doesn't know what. And she goes to she gets the liquid morphine, and she goes to the cinema to see a dancing movie, and she's like taking sips of morphine.
Yeah, the Palace Follies.
Yes, the Palace Follies. And
nothing like a dance show and a sip of morphine.
Yeah, and she's in complete awe. She's like, she's imagining herself in the movie.
I also brought liquid morphine to Pearl to sip on while I was watching. Yeah, I didn't know it was in the movie. It was
You're like, whoa, this is so weird.
You always got to have some in your purse.
I mean, you got to just in case. You gotta, if it takes the edge off, it takes the edge off. And so she goes out after the movie, and she meets the projectionist, which that's literally his name. He doesn't have a name. It's just the projectionist.
And he's hot.
He was also in Hollywood, that TV show that got canceled.
Familiar, but I didn't recognize his name.
Yeah, I was like, oh, hot guy. Cool. Hot guy. I wrote meets the projectionist who is hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's hot, and he's like, you should be on that
And he's like
stage.
flirting, and she's like, I'm married. And he goes, that's okay. Here's a clip of the movie.
Yeah, okay, that was super cute. He goes upstairs, he gets the film, and he cuts her one frame of the movie to keep. And then she puts it in her front pocket, and she's riding her bike home, and the wind takes it out, flies it into a cornfield where there's this giant scarecrow in the middle.
And she finds the film. Did she ever find the film?
No. She just goes to chase it down and gets lost in the cornfield.
She gets lost in the cornfield. I was like, did she ever find it? I don't remember.
No.
And she sees this scarecrow, and she's like, I'm going to climb that large pole and go. Like, she's like up on that scarecrow, and she like brings him down.
Throws him on the ground.
Puts on his top hat and starts dancing with him.
Yeah.
And then starts making out with him.
And then starts riding him.
Yes, but then his face turns into the
projectionist while she's orgasming.
And she's like, I'm married. But then she's like,
I'm married.
And then she's just like, And then she
I love that.
She literally grinds her way on a scarecrow. And I'm like, damn, that scarecrow did.
You gotta make do.
I mean, that scarecrow.
Farm girls make do.
My mom is a farm girl. I don't know why I said that.
Are you part scarecrow?
I might be. I am. I mean, my hair is pretty. Is like straw. Sometimes. I don't know why I said that. That's okay.
But yeah, so she.
a point.
Oh my god, that I'm married line delivery. Honestly, every time she screamed, the line delivery was so great.
She deserves an Oscar, but she's not going to get it because it's a horror film.
I know.
The only horror film to ever win an Oscar was Parasite
and The Exorcist. Right.
And Silent. The only person who's won, like, I think, was Silence of the Lambs, but they said it was more of a psychological thriller or like
drama,
a drama,
like a crime
they emphasize
drama.
it as a crime drama, and that's like, no, that's literally a horror film.
Yeah.
But they just don't reward them. Like Hereditary, Toni Collette deserved an Oscar for that. That was amazing. But like no one.
Not only should that movie have been nominated itself,
It was
but I
beautiful,
also
but-
think Alex deserved a nomination for supporting.
Oh, 100%. Just everyone in that movie.
I met Alex Wolff right after seeing that, and it was one of my, like, I was just loved Hereditary so much, and so I actually felt slightly starstruck, and I never feel that way.
That's amazing. I saw his brother Nat Wolff while walking, and they were in a TV show when I was little.
Naked Brothers.
Yes, and I was like, I'm gonna like be like crazy car, and I was like, maybe don't do that, but like also bring up everybody's like the weirdest thing they've done, and I'm gonna be like, look, this is what you're known for people born in.
I mean, it's their
grew
origin
up in
story.
the
You got to know where you
2000s.
came from.
Oh yeah, and
So she screams at the scarecrow that she's married because she thinks the projectionist is hot.
Yep.
And then she goes home, and her mom's mad that it took so long. And she says that what's her lie?
her lie. Oh, she
got hard candy on the way home?
Hard candy on the way home. And then her mom's like, then you don't get to eat dinner. And she's like, you bitch.
Yeah, and then she makes her stay at the table without food just to scold her about their need. I mean, the mom is right. They're in wartime. They're trying to survive on a farm. You got to do what you got to do. I mean, I think we've all dealt with that with our parents where they're like, you've got to grow up and do things you don't want to do. And you're like, the point of your sacrifice is so that I can achieve my dreams.
Oh,
right?
100%. And then like the next day, her sister-in-law, Mitzi, thank you. She comes and she tells her that there's this big church dance audition and they're going to pick a handful of girls to go on tour. And Pearl's like, oh my God, this is my dream. This is it.
It's a church Christmas troupe too.
And that's like, you're like.
To tour the state.
You're like, Jesus, hell yes. And so she's like, oh, I'm going to go watch the movie again at the cinema to, just get inspired.
Well.
And she goes.
Yeah.
And the projectionist is like, I have a different movie for you. And he starts showing her a porn. Like the first porn. He goes, this is going to be big. See? This is going to be so big.
And the second he put that up and she was watching it, I realized that when he was like, oh, you should be on the screen. Like, that's what he was talking about. He wants her to be in porn.
He's like, you should.
Which is very fitting if you've seen X.
Yes, which is literally just.
It's about her confronting a porn troupe.
Yeah.
Are they called a porn troupe?
A porn
crew.
troupe?
A crew.
Porn porn.
Yeah, they're not like traveling troupe.
It's a traveling porn troupe. It's a fun little. It's like a comedy troupe, but like different.
Yeah,
and,
it's like the
sex.
old traveling jesters and like mandolin players
But
of
they're
Renaissance
porn
times.
Can you imagine a man?
Porn troupe? There's a time where that would have been 1918 probably.
Oh man,
when that would have been a thing.
amazing.
Yeah.
What was the porn like then? This.
Well, we saw it.
Literally, we did.
We saw it.
We did. We just see part of it.
It was just like today, but with way more petticoats.
Oh whoa, that's insane. Honestly, why isn't that on Pornhub? Hey Pornhub, hear me out.
I mean, everything is, right?
Everything's on Pornhub?
What's the rule of the internet? If it exists, there's a porn of it?
Probably, yeah. Yeah.
My friend found pterodactyl clown porn once.
Jesus Christ. That's special. Who's watching that? I hope someone's having fun with
It
that.
had quite a few views.
But also I'm worried about that. But Pearl's like mesmerized by this porn, and he's like, oh, but like everything happens in Europe. Like I'm gonna go to Europe because that's where it's easier to make things. Like if there's no war going on in there, like let's go to Europe. And Pearl's like, this is my ticket out of here.
He's like, oh yeah, we should go.
I want to leave.
You have to go to Europe.
And she makes it like an offhand joke. She's like, oh, I just need to get rid of my parents. And he's like, what? And she's like, never mind.
Oh yeah. She's like, I wish they would just die.
And he's like, what? He's like, no, never mind. What? I didn't say anything. You said something. Shut up. And so she goes back home and brings her ailing father, who's paralyzed, who's in a wheelchair,
to the dock.
To Theta. And it's like, Theta!
And she starts apologizing to her dad, and she's like, you have to understand, I have to leave, and I can't leave you behind. I would feel guilty.
She's about to feed him to Theta, and her mom's like, what are you doing? What are you doing with Dad?
Her mom is so onto her.
And she's like, why do you hate me? And she's like, give me your because her mom.
You give me your daddy back. I wish she had been Southern.
Give me your daddy back.
She's very German.
She's German.
She's like, uns das, Dad.
She's like, that's the only German.
I don't know any. Papierkorb is wastebasket.
I'm taking German on Duolingo.
Why?
Because I am 95% German.
Oh.
Yeah. My grandpa fought in World War II against Hitler. Thank you very much. Against Hitler. He's 100. Shout out to Grandpa Hettenbach. You're 100. It's amazing.
Wait, he's still going?
He's still going. Yeah, he just had
Grandpa Hettenbach.
He just had his 100th birthday. It's amazing.
Wow.
He's a beast. He's so funny. He said after World War II, they got a cat drunk and watched it run around. And I was like, that would never happen today, but that's hilarious.
Wait, so they were like, the war's over. Let's celebrate by getting a cat.
They're like, we're going to drink, but also this cat's here. This cat deserves some whiskey too. And I was like, fair.
That's like the old equivalent of blowing weed smoke in an animal's face.
Yeah, that's honestly, yeah. But Pearl's mom stops Pearl's mom stops Pearl
from killing her dad.
And so then they have dinner, and the mom is just gaslighting the fuck out of the daughter, and she's like, you don't know what I've been through.
Wait, how is that gaslighting?
She's just like,
the mom is right.
The mom's right, but she's like, I've been through a lot, but she's like, I've been through worse, and you're like, Pearl, like, it's just, I feel bad for Pearl, but also I don't.
I mean, I feel bad that
she
of her circumstances, and I definitely empathize with her about like her dreams and being stuck and feeling like there's no way out. And also, as somebody who's very emotional, I also empathize with her tantrum.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I have been in a relationship before where in the moment I was like, I'm gonna kill this person.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So I get it.
I'm scared of you now.
Just don't date me.
Okay. Noted.
I'll Hence why I'm single.
That's fair. Hey, at least you know.
At least I know.
You're just a serial killer. That's okay.
In training.
You're learning from these movies.
Yeah. I'm researching.
So
I like the pitchfork idea.
Yes, she has this dinner with her mom, and they're just arguing, and her mom takes a knife and holds it up to her dad. Like, what do you want me to just kill him?
That
you want me to just kill him?
Great. I loved that because she's like, if you want him to die, why don't I just do it? And then you can go, blah, blah. And I was like, that's right, bitch.
She puts the knife down, and they like, she
slaps the shit.
She's like, bye, Pearl, boom. And then Pearl slaps her.
What did she say to Pearl? Or what caused the slap? It was like really intense.
Yeah, and then, she said, after she slapped her, I just know that Pearl went, I hate you. And then
slapped the mom
again,
back.
And then they both slapped.
It was just a slap
her. And then they get near the fireplace. And
yeah. She pushes her Pearl pushes her mom against the fire, and the fire catches her skirt.
Because everything is flammable back then. And she just lights up. And Pearl's
like,
oh my God.
wants to save her.
But she's also like, ooh, I should let her die. But she doesn't.
Puts her out really quickly.
She puts her out with like
I thought she was going to stand there. It was the water of the corn.
Oh, yeah, water of the
corn. In the water, and she just like throws the corn water out.
But then she throws her mom down the stairs.
Who's still alive and half burnt, unable to move, really.
Down the stairs, and she goes, this is where you be. Like, you got to be here. This is where you are now. And
I mean,
and yeah, 100%. But then she feels she's like so distraught that she goes to the cinema where the
projectionist to fuck him.
And she fucks him.
As we have learned, there's nothing to make you more horny than a dead body.
Murder, yes.
Yeah.
And so she fucks him, and he in the morning drives her home because, she has this audition today, and like the house is a mess. The dad is still at the table sitting.
Oh yeah, so she like is like, stay out here, and she runs inside. And usually when I do that, it's to throw all the clothes in my floor, into my closet, so that I don't get judged. But she's like,
I gotta clean up this.
She's like, I gotta check on my mom, make sure she's still at the bottom of the stairs.
And my dad, who's in a wheelchair, who is paralyzed, can't move, and is still in the same place. Like,
and there's still corn on the floor.
It's like, that's what you're at. I'm like, the dad is literally paralyzed, can't move. And like, he literally... Like, who knows what could have wandered in and killed him? He can't defend himself. And he's just sitting there.
I don't think there was a lot of wandering in on that farm.
Probably not. I mean, she left the door wide open when she ran out. And so
I don't think I ever saw that door closed.
She just, so Pearl, like, sets them all up. And, the guy comes in, the projectionist, and she goes, this is my dad. And then they immediately go upstairs to make out. And he keeps hearing, there's a thumping. They keep hearing a thumping. And it's the mom down in the basement.
She's climbed up the stairs and she's banging on the door.
And the projectionist is like, we gotta go. And Pearl's like, no. He's like, you have a dad who's paralyzed downstairs. You need to go. Like,
it could be him.
It could be him. You need to go.
Yeah. So they go down.
And
she takes him to the barn. Right?
Yes, they go to the barn. And she's like,
wait. Yeah.
Yeah, she's like, oh, like, that was just the dog. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
So they go to the barn. She's like, let me introduce you to the animals. Like, da-da-da-da. Here's the cow. Here's the sheep. Da-da-da. And then he's like, oh, but what's the dog's name? And she goes, we don't have a dog. And then he starts to realize, oh, something's wrong. And he turns on her. And she sees him turn.
But like, and at this point, like, it's not just that he obviously can't assume that she's a killer just because of the weird thumps. But he's seen like the old pig on the porch with the maggots crawling on it that Mitzi's family gave them.
Yeah, they gave her.
And the mom refused it because she doesn't take charity.
Yeah, because she's
so
like,
they just let
poor,
this like whole pig cooked go to waste. And it's just covered in maggots. He sees the mess. He sees her father. And so, like, this is the final straw of odd things.
Yeah.
And like, they acted it so well. Because I have been in that situation where you like a guy and you say something or do something or whatever, and you just suddenly see them turn off.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, fuck, what did I do?
You're like, what did I say?
And you know
I see that. You see, like, their eyes glaze over.
The second it happens, you're like, why did you go cold?
You're like, what's...
And she
says that.
She calls it out.
She's like, why'd you go cold? And he's like, oh, I got to get back to, there's a screening. I got to go. And then she's like, what about Europe? He goes, I don't know. And then she just gives this, well, why don't you like me? And she just screams.
I love her screaming.
I wish I could do it. It's unhinged. So good. And I'm married. I thought you liked me. And just,
why did you change?
And then he's like, okay, well, I'm going to go. So he gets in his car and she takes out a pitchfork and just stabs him in his car.
Right. And then she pulls him out.
Pulls him out. Yeah. So she stabs him with a pitchfork in the car. He still drives, but he stops. And then she pulls him out and stabs him again and again and again. And then
right through the face.
Right through the face. And so he's dead. He dead is dead. And then she's like, you know what? I'm just going to keep going. And she goes back inside. She dresses her father up.
Very nice.
Very nicely. And suffocates him with a pillowcase. So he's dead now. And you can tell in his eyes, he's absolutely terrified. That actor did an amazing job.
Whenever she murders the guy, and then I think she has made sure the mom is dead because she kicks the mom back down the stairs and is like, I want you to remember how this feels because it's how I felt every time you looked at me.
Yeah, and now
then,
she's like actually dead.
Yeah, and then she goes to take a bath and like she's covered in blood and she's cleaning her father as well from the mess he made while she was gone. And his eyes are just terrified.
He's like, I'm gonna die, and he does because
he's so scared of her. Yeah.
And then after this, she puts on her mother's like red dress, and it's an iconic red dress, and she goes to the audition, and she meets Mitzi there. It's at like a little cute church in the middle of nowhere, and they're outside. They're nervous, and Mitzi's like, oh, they're only gonna pick one girl now.
Yeah.
And Pearl's like, it has to be me. I don't know why she talks like that now. She has to be me. And so she goes in, she does her thing, she's dancing her heart out. She's like imagining she's already got the role.
We're transported to a world where she's doing this whole all-American show with soldiers.
And she's killing it, she's rocking it. And she's like, thank you. She's like applauding herself, yay. And then it comes back to reality and
they're like, we'll pass.
That's a pass, thank you. And she's like, what? That's a pass, thank you. And then she's like,
that's the best dancing I've ever done.
And they're like, well, we're looking for someone more all-American.
Blonde.
And who's blonde?
Mitzi.
And she's like, oh, immediately you're like, oh, she's going to die.
I know.
Like, oh, maybe she's not.
Honestly, from the first conversation, my friend leaned over and was like, I hope she doesn't kill her.
She's going to die. And then the judges start turning into like her mom, her dad, her husband, Howard. And
yeah, the judges are all everybody she's killed and hated and loved.
Yeah, and then
they're telling her she's not good enough, she's a failure.
And she's just like losing it up there. And then they literally have to drag her off stage.
Yeah, she's like screaming, somebody help me, as they drag her off stage. And then it cuts to her sitting on the back step.
She's just sobbing and snot's just coming out of her mouth.
It's not just sobbing. It is like I lost my child, Toni Collette, hereditary grief sobbing.
Yeah, but the amount of snot out of her nose, I was like, damn, that's amazing. So,
do you think they used ultra slime?
I know. I think she did it. I think that was, at that point, if you're in that level of headspace, you're losing it. You can
produce so much snot.
That snot should
if you really are Meisner.
if you really using the Meisner method, technique,
you can have so much snot coming out of your nose.
That's when you know you really are there. Mitzi's a good friend, though, and she's like, I'm going to take you home, and they sit down, have a nice glass of, I believe it's milk.
That nobody touches. But Mitzi, she's like, trying so hard to help her and be like, it's not the end of the world. It's a dumb Christmas church dance troupe. Who gives a shit? Yeah. Which, like, she's right.
She's right. But it's like, for Pearl, this was her
This was the one last chance.
And she's like kind of telling herself about Howard.
Yeah, she's like, pretend I'm Howard and talk to me. And Pearl gives the monologue of a lifetime.
Like a 10-minute monologue, or it's just on her face. And it's like, that monologue is insane. And she's like, oh, like, I cheated on you. I thought about other men. I thought we, da-da-da-da. And she's like, I resent you. Like, you came from this perfect life, Howard, and you wanted to be you wanted a life on a farm.
Yeah, I wanted your life, but you wanted mine.
And like, it's not fair.
And then, and she confesses to all the murders.
Yeah, and Mitzi's like, okay, whoa.
That was so funny. And it cuts back to Mitzi, and she's just like,
okay,
I gotta go.
I'm gonna go. And then Pearl's like, well, congrats on getting the tour. And she's like, oh, I didn't get it. And she goes, no, you don't have to lie to me. She goes, no, I didn't get it. You don't understand, Pearl. She goes, no, don't lie to me. I know you got it. And Mitzi's like, yes, I did get it. Yep, you can come to watch me anytime you want. And then
she walks out and she's like, I made it out. She has this like, oh God, I gotta get out of here. I think I've made it out alive. And
Pearl,
she gets, like 20 feet from
Pearl
the door.
And Pearl grabs an axe and just starts chasing her. And she's like, help!
Yes.
There's an epic
She hit her in the back so many times before she fell. I was like, how is this tiny, frail, blonde chick?
And then, she's
not
so
going
frail.
down off one axe hit to the back.
Like, if it was me, I'd be down with like half an axe hit.
Yeah. And then
I'd fall normally.
Yeah, she trips and falls, as is tradition.
Like, oh God. I'm like, now you need to die because you tripped and fell.
Yeah, it's your fault.
You have to die. And so, Pearl's just chopping her up into pieces. She's feeding her to Theta. She's just like,
Yeah.
There you go. And then she starts
chops off her head.
Yep, starts disposing of the bodies. She puts the projectionist and
his car, drives it into the lake.
Theta eats
which
him.
also happens in X.
Yes.
There's a lot of cars in that
lots
lake.
of cars.
Over
and
the years.
Theta eats him, and then she decides to make her family a little dinner. So she brings up her mom from
the
downstairs
basement
and puts her at the table, and puts her dad over at the table, and
puts the maggot pig,
the rotting maggot pig on the table.
Cooks a bunch of side dishes
and
sets it up for
and
dinner.
she's like praying and she's having fun, and then like a day passes or so. Couple days maybe, and
I don't know how much time passes
we're not
because
quite sure.
Mold has grown on the food,
Yeah.
so I would think a week.
Yeah, but Howard has returned from war, and he sees the catastrophe that is the dining room.
Yeah.
Table. He's like, oh shit, dead people. And Pearl comes all pristine,
Happy
with lemonade.
homemaker.
She goes, oh my god, Howard, I missed you. And then
You're home, and then the best in credits. She just stares into the camera with that deranged smile, and she goes from happy to just like crying while still smiling.
Because it's just hurting. I tried to do that.
That was
for
like
so long,
6 minutes.
Or it's just her, just like, and it's just like your mouth hurts. Like my mouth started like cramping, and I'm like, this hurts. This is bad. But like that's terrifying. I was
it
like,
was the perfect
she deserves an
end
Oscar just
credits
for that. And yeah, it was,
and then it just slowly
brilliant.
Closes in,
and that's it.
Yeah.
And then people are saying this is a mentally ill girl's Joker. That's what people are saying, because they're like, oh, the guys, it's like the normal Joker. This is like,
I thought we had Harley.
We have Harley Quinn, but yeah, it's this was a doozy. I'm excited to see what they do, because they had a post credit scene for
Maxine,
1985, which is about the lead from
X.
The lead from X.
Also Mia Goth.
Yeah, brilliant. But I would like more post credit scenes in horror films. I always do that when I make my shorts, my movies. I always do a blooper reel or just like a little post credit like button, just for fun. Just because it's like if you stay till the credits, you get a little gift.
Well, that's what I love about their ending credits, is because I love when people utilize it to continue the story.
Mm-hmm.
Like the story isn't ending just because the credits are happening.
Yeah.
So it's like, I love when people play with that.
It's wonderful.
Yeah. Just like continue the movie through it.
So out of 10, what do you think?
10.
10? You give it a 10?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I thought it's the kind of movie where it's like, in 50 years, it's gonna feel like a classic piece of horror.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that movie came from the 50s.
Yeah.
It
was really
like
good.
if it was in black and white.
That would have been amazing. But it was in...
no, it's Technicolor.
Technicolor, yeah.
Oh, I'm glad it was. But I'm saying if it was in black and white, you could convince somebody by the style it was shot and the credits and all that stuff that it was a classic horror film.
Yeah, for sure. I said an 8. I'm pretty harsh when it comes to...
That's fine.
Yeah, I also didn't like X very much, and Pearl, I liked it. I know it was about Pearl, but I was like, okay, I'm ready to. This is a lot on this character. I'm like, I didn't really feel sympathy for her.
I
was like,
could
you
watch
kind of
Mia Goth all day.
Oh, for sure, I love her. She's amazing, and
I guess I am a little crazy because I definitely did feel sympathy, not for her killing, but for all the reasons that led to the killing.
I was like, you don't deserve anything though, because you.
No, well, that's the thing. It's like,
did.
obviously, she never leaves the farm.
Yeah.
So she doesn't get what she wants.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting that Howard stayed with her and continued to
help
her.
And in X, he becomes just as crazy as she does.
Yeah, he's helping her kill
Alistair,
so that he can keep her. He's just in love with her as she is with him in this really fucked up way.
My boy Alistair from Madison, Wisconsin, just goes apeshit.
Now,
with
does
her.
he have old age makeup in X?
No, I don't think he was in X. That would have been amazing.
Yeah.
I think they have different bone structure.
Yeah,
but
I don't think we even got into the funniness of that one in this recap. That movie was just like,
there were some good, funny, hilarious moments.
There was.
They were beautiful, and it was fantastic. But do you know who else is beautiful?
You.
You're beautiful.
You're beautiful.
Thanks for being here today.
I'm happy to be here. I'm glad I could come back.
It's an honor for you to be back. And guys, do you have anything you want to promote?
Instagram at JessieXTheXMess. It's all I got for you.
Woo woo. Well, hey, You're awesome. You're amazing. And we thank you for being here today at Horror at the Store. Guys, see you next time. And yeah, stay spooky, I guess.
Ooh. Happy October.
Happy October.